How y'all doing today? I'm back. Now what we have here is basically how you got liberal blacks who don't want to take responsibility for their actions. And you'll have other blacks that will think it's okay. You know? How many of you remember Jacob Blake? How many of you remember him? This is the dude that, broke into his ex-girlfriend's house, finger popped her, and took the kids. She called the cops. The Jacob Blake was manhandling the cops. He was tasered. He was walking towards the vehicle to get a knife. Okay, he was told to stop, and he didn't stop, and he was shot. And now this dude wants to sue the Kenosha cop who shot and paralyzed him. He filed a lawsuit. How many of y'all think it's ridiculous? The sad thing is you have black people sticking up for Jacob Blake, including black women. But I ask, how would you feel if this man was the one who, your daughter chose to have a baby by, and he chooses to break into her home, finger pops your daughter, and then takes your grandkids, against your daughter's will, and he's manhandling cops and puts those 3 kids, your grandchildren, in danger of being shot? How would you feel? Would you support Jacob Blake? I just want to know. Roommates last August, many around the country were outraged when Kenosha, Wisconsin resident Jacob Blake was shot 6 times by a local police officer, which tragically left him paralyzed as a result. Now, almost a year later, Jacob Blake has officially filed a lawsuit against Rusten Sheskey for shooting him multiple times in the back and the current inability to walk. According to TMZ TV, Jacob Blake has formally enlisted a legal team led by attorney Benjamin Crump to file a federal lawsuit against Rusten Sheskey, who shot him repeatedly in the back as he attempted to get into the vehicle. As a result of the shooting, Blake spent several weeks in the hospital and is currently paralyzed. The court documents regarding the lawsuit state that Jacob Blake says he presented no physical or verbal threat towards Sheskey and was simply trying to walk away from an escalating situation when Sheskey continually shot him in the back 6 times. If you had stopped when the cops told you to stop, when they wouldn't have to taser you, and you forgot that you put one of those cops in a headlock and go punching them, right? Forgot to mention that in the lawsuit, huh? Blake also revealed in documents that although he had a folding knife in his possession, he never flashed it or threatened Sheskey with it. He further confirmed that even after he dropped the knife on the floor inside his vehicle, Sheskey still shot him. Nah, I saw the video, bro. Blake says that due to the shooting, one of the bullets severed his spinal cord, currently leaving him paralyzed and in a wheelchair. The lawsuit details his claims that he hasn't been able to work and needs daily help with regular tasks to properly care for himself. Set up a GoFundMe. Sadly, despite his numerous surgeries and rehabilitation, Jacob still has not regained the ability to walk. Citing excessive force, Blake wants Sheskey held responsible, despite the fact that it was previously announced that neither Sheskey nor the officers involved were charged in the case. I'm sorry, man, but you put this on yourself. A lot of black people, who are liberal-minded, don't, have the hood mentality, don't understand that, there are some blacks that put themselves in situations with the police. And then they want to cry about it. They have to live with those consequences. Okay? That's the reality of it. Okay? You want to be mad and call people blacks coon when they simply are telling the truth. You can see the video. Okay? And you already know that he put himself in that situation. If he hadn't broken into his baby mama's house, finger popped her, okay, took her keys for the car, you had a knife in your possession, you already admitted that you were a threat. You manhandled one of the cops that's tased you. So Sheskey felt threatened because you were tased and you shook it off and you were whooping all these cops behind. The only person to blame for you being in a wheelchair is you. And I know a lot of blacks will look at me and call me a coon, and that's perfectly fine. I don't care, because I'd rather be called a coon for common sense than be down with the clique in ignorance, knowing I'd just be setting a precedent that it's okay to fight the police even though when you're wrong. It's okay to get shot and then have everybody feel sorry for you when you're the one who put yourself in that position in the first place. Then you have the Democratic Party using you as a political football and ambulance chasers like Benjamin Crump. All right. Tell me what you think in the comments. Does it make sense for Jacob Blake to file a lawsuit against Kenosha police officer? Or should he just set up a GoFundMe and find a way to find employment? I'm sorry. He's just going to have to use his mind to be employed from now on. What could I say? What can anybody say who's honest and can actually look at this objectively and see the facts, not feelings? All right. On to the next story later.